Hey everybody, welcome back. Time for another half-ass review. We're doing some space towing today. Space towing, space tugboating. Which one is it? Is it a tow truck or is it a tugboat? Or is it both? Actually, I'm going to argue it is probably just a tow truck. Because it's not, I don't think it's really intended to push stuff, although we do see some bumpers on the front. Maybe we can call it a tugboat, because tugboats are actually kind of, they have the ability to kind of do both. They kind of pull and push. Tow trucks just pull. But yep, we're looking at the Argo SRV. And I am moving at, why am I moving so slow? Let's move that fast up, and yeah, man, that was weird. It's basically a space tow truck. A tow ship. This is the business end right here, the back. It is the tractor beam that is used for, I think it's a tractor beam anyway. It's kind of, is it technically a tractor beam? Like, I don't think you can actually control the range with the beam itself. I think the only way you control the range on this is by how fast and how hard you're pulling. And that's something you have to kind of look at also when you're towing, by the way, is you have to be careful how fast you're hauling. Because if you pull it way too fast, you can, I'm assuming anyway, you can lose it. I tried to. I did not successfully pull that off. And I was pulling a hammerhead in this thing, so maybe I did it wrong, but it does seem like there is a system in place that is trying to keep you from like being able to just haul ass as soon as you hook up. And by haul ass, I mean that in the most SRV way that I can mean it, because this thing is slow. I mean, it is a tugboat, after all. That being said, I did have a lot of fun towing with it, oddly enough. I never thought I would ever say anything like that, really, but I did have fun towing with it. And I did find this, too. This is pretty cool. It has a little cargo pod here. And it is literally like, this is all it is. You can get in here with it, and it has a magnetic floor and all for whatever purpose. It is on the floor, so whatever. But yeah, it is literally just this little cargo bay here. There's nothing else. It's just, hey, I'm in here. Doesn't lead to anything else. No access to inside the ship from that. The way you get in the ship is up here. Right here. You got this button that calls the elevator down. Any day now. There we go. Yeah. Yes. Go ahead and hit close, even though it should just say up or something. I don't know. Close, I guess, works. Now, we are very conveniently labeled here. Amazingly enough, we have a ship that actually did this for us. Cockpit this way, so we're going to do that last. Let's go this way to the habitation. Oh yeah, and this is also where you find some of the components, like the shield generator, jump drive, the battery, gravity generator that I'm sure is empty, life support, radar relay, and the cooler and the power plant. All in this small little section right here. Let's go to the habitation. Nope, I pressed the wrong one. Going back up. Oh, and on that note too, even these are labeled too. The buttons. Lift and habs. This one's not labeled because it's kind of obvious that it's all by itself. It's the cockpit. So, let's go ahead and hit the correct button. And there are lights on those buttons too, so. As you can see here also. Wait, no, this one doesn't have them. But, this is actually for both the suit locker. Okay, so when I did this last time and I pressed that button, it opened both of these at the same time. The bathroom and the suit locker. And now all of a sudden they want to act separate. Whatever. But yes, skipping on straight to the bathroom, which is where I was going to start anyway. Bathroom. And we have ourselves a little pop-out sink. Neat. Little pop-out toilet. With TP and all. And if you're in here, by the way, just turn around and close the door. And we got a little button here. We got a little button. Press the button. Push the button. Okay, I don't know what it does. And now I'm stuck. There we go. Put that away. Maybe if I push the button now. Push the button. It did nothing. Save me. It did nothing. Okay. Anyhow. And as we saw a second ago, the suit locker's right there. But anyhow. And we got a couple gun racks right next to the suit locker. Over here is this little thing you do. I'm sure this is intended to dispense food and drink. A place to sit and eat said food and drink, and also get a view of whatever you're towing. Watch it as it flies into the back of you after you hit the brakes real quick. Well, the pilot hits the brakes. And you have a little bed. Now, it's not really intended to be for more than one person, but obviously, like, you can have another person here with you. Unless you really just want to always be around them like that. Then again, you probably spend a lot of time out there, and it might be the only way to really get to spend any time with your significant other is to go with them. So, maybe give them their own bed. I don't know. Now here's the cockpit. It's not very a whole lot to it. But then before we get in the seat, you know what we're going to. We gotta take a look at the Urkel. Well, this is going to be a quick one. We don't even have a name for the arm on the back of it. So, looking at the DPS calculator, or Urkel if you will, we have no weapons, no turrets, no missiles. We have a quantum drive, the Hurricane, industrial grade B, size 2. Being a size 2, that means you can upgrade it. You can make it faster. Might want to do that. Maybe. I actually don't know how fast or how travel with the quantum drive works when you've got something in tow. But you should be able to, yeah, you can upgrade it, I'm sure. Give it a shot, see what happens. Be the guinea pig. Shields, we have a size 2, 5 MA, Chimali, civilian grade C, 9,000 hit points. This is a front back shield, 2 faces, because it's size 2, so it gets 2 faces. Onward to the power plant, size 2, diligence, doing that due diligence within that industrial grade C power plant. 12,500 power. Yeah, you're never going to need to worry about power in this ship. You don't even have guns. You don't even have the ability to put on guns or really increase the usage of the power that don't worry about it. It's plenty. Don't change it. Coolers, who cares? Cool core. Keeps the ship plenty cool. Man, this is going to be a short one. SRV, roll light salvage. Yeah, I guess it technically would be considered a salvage ship. Yeah. You do some salvage by towing it. This would be a great ship to use with your salvage buddies. Anyhow, career support size 3, crew size of you. Yeah, but you got room to like keep people seated if you want. You got a couple seats and a bed. You could really fit 4 people on there if you if you could find a benefit to it. Cargo 12 SUs. Body is 5,500 hit points. The nose is 0. That's comforting. That's where you sit basically. Is like the entirety of the nose is your whole your seat. Anyhow, totaling up to 28,000 hit points. Okay. And I'm not really worried about talking about numbers like max, pitch, yaw, and roll, especially considering when we go to fly it a little bit here in a minute, you'll get to see just how actually really nimble this thing is for how slow it is. Has SEM speed of 124 meters per second. That is max SEM speed. But that being said, if you're in Atmo, that's going to pretty much be almost your max speed. That's not really true. You can get a little bit closer to like 215 while you're in Atmo, like on Crusader, like Crusader level Atmo. But you're like wasting your booster trying to get that. And the max speed while in space, trust me, the max speed is only going to be while you're in space with this ship at 1,090 meters per second. So it's not the fastest thing. It's a pretty slow little guy. It's a tugboat, man. What do you expect? Or tow truck. Hydrogen capacity, 475,000. Decent enough. Quantum tank fuel capacity is 2,759. I think that's decent enough. I'm pretty sure it is. I mean, you're going to get all the way across the system with this setup anyway, currently, so whatevs. It's not currently available in-game yet because it just came out, a brand new ship. That being said, let's see how much the ship is outside of the game. Alright, so the SRV. We're war bonding the SRV for real money at $150. Or if you got store credit, $165 for a non-war bond version. As far as what I know with Argo, they don't like to sell Argo in the store. Like, the Mole has been in here for a while now, and I'm kind of surprised it was in here for a while. But, like, they just don't seem to like to sell Argo for real money, I feel. I hardly ever see Argo stay in the store for very long, other than this. The SRV, we'll see how long it sticks around. The other Argo ship, I can't even remember what it's called right now. I rarely ever see it anymore. It's Raft. Bro, the Raft, where's it at? Why can't I buy it? And then there's also the like personnel and cargo little mover ships. Hardly ever for sale. They only like to sell those things at special times. So I would not be surprised if SRV ends up joining those lots. So get this thing while you can, if you want it. If you don't want it and you're not interested in towing ships, screw it. What are you even watching this one for? Back to the ship. Alright, so now we're back. We'll go ahead and hop into the seat here. You'll notice that I'm still wearing my armor. I'm not actually all that worried about it right now because I don't plan on taking it out on a job. I actually already took care of that. But I will take off and talk about a little bit. So let's go ahead and get started. Power on, engine on. Systems on. Let's first look at these MFDs. Now, we're not a fighter ship. We don't even have weapons. So we don't entirely need maybe the target MFD. Maybe it could be useful to have it set to something like power triangle. But then again, it's also, I think it's also kind of neat to have it set to the thing that you're, like, towing. And it's always nice to have your own ship, like, status available and ready. Your EM, your IR, your shields, which mine are almost done charging. Let's get the door open while we're sitting here.
You are clear to launch.
I know I am. I just need the door open. And we also have the little 2D radar that we have here. Again, not entirely necessary because we're not really like doing any sort of high-end combat, so 2D radar is plenty. Let's go ahead and get into a good view for this and set the VTOL back on. It's a weird little bug, man. It should be already set to on with a ship like this. Oh, and another thing you'll notice is the arm repositions when you start the ship up, so let me actually show that off. So ship off, arm down, ship on, ship's happy. And taking off after we turn the engines back on. Pop that in there and go ahead, scoot forward a little. And go ahead and take VTOL back off. Now, one thing to note, I think I said it earlier already, but I'm going to say it again here because it definitely deserves to be mentioned. This thing is slow. Especially in Atmo. But it's still pretty slow outside of Atmo. It's got a lot of engines on it, so even though they're all pointed backwards, it still is really maneuverable. Which is kind of impressive for something like this. Not gonna lie, I did not expect a ship like this to be able to do corkscrews and barrel rolls and ailerons as easily as this one does. It's not a quiet ship. Especially when you're like running booster. By the way, on that note, this booster is actually hyper efficient. Watch how long it takes for that number to start dropping once I hit this. Let's start it at 80. That's really slow drain. I mean, I know I'm really slow at 214, now going to 215. And I think I'm limited at 215 here in Orison. But I'm still draining boost. Didn't let go once yet. And I don't even have all power to boost yet. Like, I just now put power to boost so that I can recharge this. Actually, apparently I did not. There's power. There's power to boost. Alright, so, well, we got a nice little flight around the Crusader. Let's take this thing on out for a tow job. Or, well, you'll get to see the tow job that I did before. And all fairness, or, well, all transparency, since I did this tow job before and I actually didn't realize I was even actually recording, I'm gonna have to do this all voiceover because I wasn't even talking into a mic. Alright, so Future Pink here. Hi. How you doing? So, initial gripe that I wanted to go ahead and get out of the way while we're looking at this portion of the screen. You'll notice that everything is the same color. Nothing is blue to indicate that you can, like, do it, except for, you know, the writing on the top there. That's blue, obviously. But when I go to try and tell if I'm far enough away from Crusader to jump, it doesn't change color on me. So you kind of just have to really pay attention. Wanted to get that out there while we were looking at the sort of quantum jumping going on. Now, one of the first things I started to notice was I didn't remember how to turn the mode on to be able to, like, do towing. So, amateur hour now begins. So I sat there for a little while trying to figure out, well, I don't have weapons. What do I push? How do I do this? And then I saw that. Enter remote turret. This at least gave me my first hint. And then I got into this and it automatically switches your mode over to tow mode. And while you're in remote turret, you can actually aim the tow beam. Imagine that. Now, later on, you'll see that I was trying to do it without aiming it with this. Just aim it with it. Don't be stupid like me. But to let you know, in order to switch on and off the tow beam, well, the tow mode, it is basically mode switch, or mining button, which I believe on keyboard by default is M. But let's go ahead and get ourselves an actual job here. I do actually need to pick up work, so let's skip a bit. Now in here, while in the mobiGlas and trying to pick a job, we're going to go down into the personal area and into salvage. This is where I found my work. You're looking not at the regular salvage jobs, although I'm sure you can find many uses for a tow truck involving salvage normally. But the ones that we specifically use here are the vehicle cleanup missions. These are also going to land you a nice little crime stat, so be aware. So you accept the offer. You see it, this hammerhead is going to bring me a nice sweet $250,000. The Andromeda is 80 grand. I figured, why not go all out and do the hammerhead? After accepting the job, we go ahead and find it on the map and set a route and go to the place. And this is pretty simple. All we're really going to have to do is hook up, move the thing for a little while, and then after moving it for a little while, it tells us that we succeeded. Now you have a time limit. You want to get there within the time limit, otherwise you fail, and you do not get paid. And I don't know if you still collect the crime stat or not in that case. Probably not, unless you ended up hooking up already. The instant you hook up, you're going to end up getting a crime stat, so just remember that. So let's skip up ahead a little bit and I'll show you what it's kind of like actually towing. Now, when you're arriving, like I said, this is probably easier to do while you're actually in the remote turret, so I suggest you actually use the remote turret, but otherwise it is possible, obviously, as you can see here, to grab it while not in the remote turret. You do, of course, have to have the mode switch activated to have tow mode active. But if you look over on the left there, you see this green bar as it fills up. This is your distance bar. You want to make sure it's kind of more centered. If it starts to get too far up to the top there, you want to slow down a little bit, let the ship catch up to you, and then try to match the speed back up with whatever you're towing. And that way you'll be able to keep your distance right where you need to keep it. Now, as long as you're controlled and you're able to have self-control, it is possible to go ahead and maintain that distance and go as fast as you want. It might take a while to get up to speed without losing your load, but again, I did try to test it, and you'll see later on, I was not able to actually lose a hammerhead while speeding off. But one thing you'll also notice is ships have a towing mass limit for your quantum drive. As far as upgrading or anything goes on that, I'm not really sure if upgrading your quantum drive will have an effect on that, because I didn't bother with upgrading. I wanted to do this as usual with a base loadout. So luckily we don't have to worry about taking this anywhere specifically, we just need to get it out of the area, so we're just going to go ahead and fly for a while and get it out of the area. Another option too is to bring a vulture or a reclaimer and scrape the hull until it's completely gone. And after about 10 minutes of flight time, almost exactly 10 minutes of flight time, we've gone far enough and got paid 250,000 AUEC. Now, again, you'll notice we have a crime stat of 2 up there. And yep, that's going to be a reality for you if you choose to go this route. Now, there are other uses for this ship, and obviously not all of them involve getting a crime stat. But one thing to keep in mind is if you don't have permission to grab someone's ship, don't do it. Or you'll get a crime stat. Just a quick little touch on showing you when I was trying to actually lose the hammerhead naturally, and it just wasn't working out. Though I do still think that it is possible to go so fast and reach such a far distance that your tractor beam will let go. And you want to be careful of that, because the item you're towing is not uncoupled. It's dead in the water, which means it's going to keep going when you stop. Or, well, when it stops towing. And if you stop what you're doing, it might run into the back of you. That's a hammerhead, by the way. That's pretty big. And now for that example, right about now. Now, I still have coupled on until here. And it just barely misses me. And continues on
Deck crash, close.
Forever. Goodbye, hammerhead. Hope you enjoy your flight. Anyhow, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and come back for more. Bye.